Jasodanandana Vajraranjana Jasodanandana Vajraranjana Jamunitira Jamunatira vanatari Jararum Madhava Kunjabehari Upejana Balava Jasodanandana Vajraranjana Jamunatira vanatari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Madhava, Kunjabehari, Jeraram Madhava, Kunjabehari. Kunjabehari. Got the job. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariba Jakacharya Asateta Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhaicharan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananda Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namchar Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Shigho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gopal, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Go Gopinath, Shamakund, Radhakund, Giri Govardhan ki, Vrindavandam ki, Mathuradam ki, Dwarkadam ki, Navadipdam ki, Jagannapuridam ki, Jumunamai ki, Gangamai ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Sambhira Bhaktivinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Sri Radhamadhava ki, Sri Panchatattva ki, Sri Nishingadev Prahlad ki, Gopremanandi, all glories. glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. How I managed to be sitting in front of so many saintly Vaishnavas at the lotus feet of Radha Madhava and Lord Nrsingadev and Gaur Nitai is proof of the efficacy, the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. They say that, a bird flies in the sky according to its ability, to the height of its ability. I've got a cold, I've got a headache, I've got a bad back. If we have time, there's 14 things wrong in this man. How many can you find? So, but somehow or other, I'm sitting here in front of the saintly Vaishnava. So I hope that something I say will give them some pleasure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskricha Naram Chaivam Narottama Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Bhagavatam is his Brinda's son. It is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied with knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who've lost their vision through the dense darkness of the age of Kali should get light out of this Purana. Let's see, we've got 3 verses. Let's do the Sanskrit for verse 9. Is that what's on the board? Well, that makes life easy. Tat karamashram padam sarasvatya parishritam svayambhu sakam Rishibir, Marichi, Adibir, Abhyayad, Tatkardama Shamad Padam, Saraswati Parishritam, Swayambhu Sakam Rishibir, Marichiyad bir abhayaya. Take it away. Tat kadam ashrayam padam sarasvatya parishritam Svayambhu Sakam Rishibir Marichiyad Bir Abhyayada. Vaishnavis. Not all at once. Anyone else from the Vaishnavi side? So we're going to read the translations, starting 7, then verse 8 with Prabhupada's short purport, and verse 9 with Prabhupada's short purport. At the time of his descent on earth, demigods, in the form of raining clouds, sounded musical instruments in the sky. The celestial musicians, the Gandharvas, sang the glories of the Lord, while celestial dancing girls, known as apsaraso, danced in joyful ecstasy. Verse 8, at the time of the Lord's appearance, the demigods flying freely in the sky showered flowers, all the directions, all the waters, and everyone's mind became very satisfied. Prabhupada's purport. It is learned herewith that in the higher sky there are living entities who can travel through the air without being hampered. Although we can travel in outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments. But they are not. We learn from the pages of Bhagavatam that the inhabitants of the planet known as Siddhaloka can travel in space from one planet to another without impediment. They showered flowers on the earth when Lord Kapila, the son of Kardama, appeared. And then verse 9. Brahma, the firstborn living being, went along with Marichi and the other sages to the place of Kardamuni's hermitage, which was surrounded by the river Saraswati. In Prabhupada's short purport, Brahma is called Svayambhu because he's not born of any material mother and father. He is the first living creature and is born from the lotus, which grows from the abdomen of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Therefore, he is called Svayambhu, or self-born. Om Ganantimarandasya Ghanāghanāḥ Jagshu Shirmilatangena Tasare Shri Gurave Namaha. Malati Devi told me that Prabhupada was in London at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and some Indian gentleman, he could have been, any race, don't get hung up on that. And he said, oh, Swamiji, I was seeing you in Delhi, and now I'm seeing you in London. It is a small world. Behind Prabhupada's seat was a big picture of Mahavishnu, with Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, all the universes emanating. Prabhupada motioned to the picture and said, actually, this world is insignificant. So I want to glorify the Bhagavatam's vision. We're stuck in this dark, dank corner of the universe. We're the bottom of the barrel in Kali Yuga. And we're proud. What? Everybody with a brain got out already. And here we are, and we're proud of this and proud of that, and we think we know so much. I was in the room. A man kept saying to Prabhupada, well, as far as I know. Well, Swami, as far as I know. And after 3 or 4 of these, Prabhupada just stepped right in and says, that's my point. How far do you know? So what do we know? And we read these higher planets and Siddhaloka and Lord Brahma's born of a lotus, and you say, oh, come on. I'm supposed to believe this mythology? Well, hang on a minute. Right now, let me give you an example. I don't know what's a big intersection So I'm going to pick one in Calcutta. So I'm going to pick one in Chicago. Principle is this. I tell Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj, hey, meet me on the corner of Main and State Street, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And just to be clear, on the northwest corner. Northwest corner, State and Madison, it's a main intersection in Chicago, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Is there a lot of ambiguity in that statement? I don't think so. And yet I am there at 9. I'm early. It could happen. I'm there a little bit early. And no Maharaj. So, you know, given my nature, I'm finding fault. I go back to the temple, beautiful Chicago temple, Kishore Kishori Ki Jai, and I say, hey, Maharaj, what happened? And because he's a saintly person, he says, you know, I don't know what happened, Maharaj, but I was there. I was there 10 minutes early, and I waited till 9:30, and you weren't there. Now, let's assume, and I'll show you why, both statements are correct. Maharaj was there on the northwest coast. Have a seat, otherwise you're distracting. Yeah, the world will turn. Thank you. Now walk away. Prabhu, walk away. Walk away. Thank you very much. And I appreciate what you're doing, don't get me wrong. So, how is it possible we were both there at the same time, at the same place, at the right time? On 2 dimensions, there we are, northwest corner. But what if there's a building on that corner? And what if I'm on the 5th floor and Maharaj is on the ground floor? All of a sudden, we don't see each other. If you add another dimension, we live in a multi-dimensional universe, and that is the view of Bhagavatam. Right now, and I hope no one's doing it, right now, somebody's on their phone, they could be watching a cricket match or American basketball. They could be shopping on Amazon.com. They can be texting their mother. I mean, all of that is in this room. It's here right now. Just got to have the right device, and you can catch it. So there's so many examples of how we live in a turn on your radio. All of that's right here, going on right now. You just got to have the right device. If you have a computer, suppose a young boy like this, he's got his homework, he's got a few, video games on the computer, family computer. Now, maybe the older brother, he's in college, he's got his advanced chemistry. That's a whole other level. Let's assume, anyway, the mother or father are working for the American CIA. Whoa, a whole other world opens up. According to the access, get another dimension. So we live in a complex, multi-dimensional universe. And we have to, and we'll get to a point, we have to see the world as described in Bhagavatam. The Sanatana Goswami writes in his glorification of the Bhagavatam, I'm just going to read one verse. O nectar of the ocean of all scripture, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truth. You are the only giver of sight in this world. That's Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says in the preface, it's meant to cause a revolution in the impious lives of a misdirected civilization. A revolution in the misdirected lives of the lives of a misdirected civilization. A man said, "Oh, we're advancing, we're advancing." Prabhupada said, your advancement is like a moth into the flames. Sure, you're going forward, but where? So we are blessed with the light and truth and the vision of Bhagavatam. It is I was going to say priceless jewel, but that doesn't even touch it. In case anybody doubts, I was thinking about it this morning, doubts that we're in Kali Yuga. We got any Kali Yuga doubters? Anyone? Just look out the window, look at the front, newspaper page. Kardama Muni, by his mystic power, is flying with a flower airplane with gardens and birds, the whole thing's fountains. The best we can do is come up with a used motorhome. Think about it. It spews out waste. It's got a bumper sticker, "I've been to see the world's largest ball of string." Where are you going? What's the purpose of the thing? And we think we're so advanced. It's just profound arrogance. Prabhupada was often asked, "Can you see God?" Now he gave different answers. Again, Malati Devi told me this one, that Prabhupada's in London, Bhaktivedanta Manor, and it's my job to tell some Prabhupada Leela, So that's what's expected of me, and nicely so. Thank you. So Prabhupada's sitting here in the back like this. Beautiful Radha Gokulananda are here. Packed temple room. A man stands up. Prabhupada, deities, a man stands up. "Can you see God?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, but you're standing in the way. Sit down." So Prabhupada had so many wonderful ways of answering him. But think about this for a minute. I heard Prabhupada say it. The mystic power of God is all around us. Suppose Badrinarayan Swami. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And this glass floated up, this loda, and poured water in my mouth. I mean, hey, I'd be impressed. You'd probably be impressed, Oh, he's Bhagawan, or whatever it may be. But, and I don't have time to go into it, Sariputta Prabhu, the smartest person I ever met outside of Prabhupada, founding member of Bhaktivedanta Institute, he calculated it rained in San Diego County. It's like a parish or a province or whatever, and covered it by 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch? Indian monsoon? What is that? To cover San Diego County, 1/8 of an inch requires billions, with a B, billions and billions of tons of water. And Krishna's just floating it in the sky. That's Yogeshwara. And it's a free energy machine. Om Purnama Da Purnami Dam, it's perfectly complete unit. It shines, the sun is there, and it draws off the distilled water. It carries that to the mountains. It pounds on the mountains. It brings out all the minerals. It fertilizes and waters all the crops, picks up all the garbage, drops it in the bottom of the ocean, and it goes on perpetually. The mystic power of God is all around us. I saw Prabhupada in San Diego peel a tangerine. We call it tangerine, you call it an orange. It was good size. Prabhupada was peeling it, and then he looked at it. He said, how can they say there's no God? It comes so nicely packaged. And think about it. We'll be buried by plastic. And Krishna, and you can make a nice marmalade. You can cut up the skin. If not, throw it outside. It's organic. It fertilizes the soil. And inside individual sections, you know, I mean, think about it. And inside every tangerine are seeds to make a whole flock of trees. More tangerine trees. You do that. Prabhupada, he would often joke. Sariputta confirmed. I saw Prabhupada do it once, and Sariputta Prabhu confirmed it for me. That Prabhupada, excuse me, Prabhupada would meet biologists, and often Prabhupada, first thing he'd say was, poor frogs. You know, because they dissect all the, and it immediately put them in their place. Immediately, you know. I mean, Prabhupada was a transcendental expert. So a man was saying, you know, same thing. Oh, we're on the cusp of creating life. I mean, that's a whole other class. But just, Prabhupada said to the man, okay, fine. A car stops running because it runs out of gas. You put gas or petrol in it, and the car runs. Take a dead man, put the chemicals in, and bring him back to life. Oh, well, we can't do that. Prabhupada said, can you make me a mosquito? Think about it. I mean, and mosquitoes quite far out. They can take up, they can go down, they can go sideways. I saw in a National Geographic, people send me things wherever you are out there, keep them coming. I love it. And it was electromagnetic telescope looking at the drill of a mosquito. The thing is extremely complicated. It's got all kinds of chambers and compartments, and it's got all kinds of valves. You can't get Schlumberger or, you know, those big oil companies. They can't make something that complex. And Krishna's made it miniature-sized fly. So the man said, no, we can't make a mosquito. Prabhupada said, can you make me a blade of grass? The man said, no. Prabhupada said, make me one drop of milk. Give this young boy a pile of straw. Sorry to pick on you, but you sat in the front. He'll never do it again. Give him a pile of straw. Can he make milk? And he makes, Prabhupada calls it the miracle food for old men and babies. Take straw and make milk. So that by this time, the guy was completely, you know, he had nothing to say. He had been reduced to nothing. But the mystic power of God is all around us. We live in a multi-dimensional universe. And this is what human life is meant to be. We're not meant to be little gerbils, you know, skittering around if we can make it to Walmart or whatever the local store is and back. Prabhupada says, living in a pigeonhole in a skyscraper building. That's not life. Always. Krishna says in the Gita, you want to be happy, you have to be peaceful. Makes complete sense. To be peaceful, you've got to have, what is it? You've got to have a controlled mind. To have a controlled mind, you've got to have a transcendental intelligence. Otherwise, just connect the dots. Otherwise, you're not going to be peaceful and you're not going to be happy. Prabhupada said they don't, if somebody said, I was there, that, oh, Prabhupada, they're so opulent in the West. Prabhupada said, what opulence? They don't have the opulence. Their opulence, Prabhupada said, is glass and plastic. And then Prabhupada said, They don't even have the opulence of one moment's peace of mind. Bhagavatam gives that great verse. There's a fantastic purport by Prabhupada. You know, they're lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. That's the world that they live in. Prabhupada said, first thing he said was, what is the one thing sannyasis can't tolerate? We're supposed to be tolerant. We're supposed to be humble, right? I mean, they can't tolerate, Prabhupada said, crying babies. That was the first. And, you know, I raised 2 children as a single parent. I feel your pain. There was a sannyasi, I can't resist. And I'm looking at the time. I won't mention his name. He's on a morning walk. You can hear the tape with Prabhupada. And he says, yeah, Prabhupada, these ladies, they're always taking care of their children. They're not at Mangalarti. He's going on like this, you know. Prabhupada said to me, you're just envious. I swear to you. Prabhupada said to him, Prabhupada said, you're so ugly, no one will marry you. So, and then Prabhupada said, you don't worry, Krishna takes care of the mothers. You don't get your knickers in a knot or whatever it is, you know. But because I'm thinking about where I want to go here. And I'm looking at the time. This is 1969, summer of 1969. I somehow or other washed up at the doorstep of the Laguna Beach little temple, you know. I can never repay those devotees. So I was looking at Mahavishnu. There was a big picture again of Mahavishnu. And I don't know if any of you, some of the older devotees know Sukadev, who was a pretty fiery guy, you know. So he's cutting up fruit for the Sunday feast or Mayapur or whatever it is. And a guest asked me, what the hell do I know? But he asked me, and I'm describing this picture of Mahavishnu. And I'm saying, well, it's like Orion's belt or the Big Dipper, and if you connect the stars, it makes a picture, and, you know. And Sukadev flew out of the kitchen with a long knife because he was cutting fruit. And he said, you can't say that in Prabhupada's temple. You get out of here. You haven't read the Bhagavatam, you know. So I figured I better read the Bhagavatam. So, but what do we know? And what is our happiness? Our happiness, Prabhupada said, is a momentary relief. If there's an itch, you scratch it. That's momentary relief. So, I guess I'll get to what I wanted to say. The devas, it's described here how they're in ecstasy because the Lord's appearing. They're jubilant. Krishna's appearing. Anybody know a verse in Bhagavad Gita? Krishna described, Paritanaya saranam vinasaya jajuskatam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. People say, well, why doesn't God just come down here and straighten it out? You know, why does he leave us all in darkness? Why does he leave us at each other's throats? You know, petty, superficial lives. Why doesn't he come here and just straighten it all out? Well, he does. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna comes again and again. Prabhupada said there's as many avatars, incarnations as Krishna, as waves in the ocean. He sends his realized souls. He sends Shastra. Krishna's working hard to save us. What that means, amongst other things, is that Krishna cares. Krishna loves us. This is part of the message of Bhagavatam, that everybody matters. I was in Los Angeles, the wonderful, I think Swavas and Tadita are around there somewhere. The LA Rathayatra, I don't want to get anybody agitated. Let us say it is a wonderful event. Many Rathayatras are wonderful event. Okay, so I'm usually in the free prasadam booth. I slipped out. I like to hear the devotees answering in the question and answer booth. I like to hear what they're, And it was Jayadvaita Maharaj was in the... And, well, I'll just be frank. There were these two large men in front of me. In all honesty, they were land whales. They were large size. I was trying to look around them, look and see, and they were big size. And I couldn't see Jayadvaita Maharaj. And then I heard Jayadvaita Maharaj say the beginning of spiritual life, the core bedrock understanding, is that we are not this body. And one of these large land whales turned to his friend and said, "Boy, that's a relief." And you think about it. I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm not, the great wheel of Dharma, cosmic time, it begins with the exhale of Mahavishnu. And it goes all the way down to Dundas, to Tirtha, it goes all the way down to a hex. The amount of time it takes in Kapila Dev, later on in the Sankhya Yoga, the amount of time it takes the sun to cross a hexatom. A hexatom is 6 atoms. I mean, talk about nanoseconds. They're there in the Bhagavatam. All the way from the exhaling of Mahavishnu and everything comes out and everything's drawn in, all the way down to a hexatom, the time it takes the sun to cross it. That's Bhagavatam vision. So it's a relief. That's the point I was going to say. Prabhupada says, what kind of gentleman or gentlewoman can see a blind man stepping out into traffic? Do you think, I don't know him, we haven't been introduced. Maybe you'll think I'm picking my pocket, I'm not going to get involved. Can anybody in this room do that? You see a blind man stepping out in traffic? Automatically. It's called the Good Samaritan law in America. If you have the ability to cure something, you're a first responder, and you drive past an accident, you can go to jail. You can be fined. It's called the Good Samaritan law. We have the Bhagavatam, and people want it. They need it. They've done studies, and people send me these things, and thank you very much. Once people have the bare maintenance, they got enough money to take care of their health care, they're paying off their mortgage, they got some savings to put their kids through college. What do people want? It's not more stuff. It's not a brand new car. They want to feel that their life matters. They want to feel that they're part of something bigger. I'm not just treading water here and then, time comes and I shuffle off the mortal coil. That's not life. We have the Bhagavatam. We can cause that revolution in the hearts of an impious civilization. That's what we're meant for. Prabhupada said, I cannot think small. Prabhupada said that's his disease. We are not meant for small things. We're meant to change the world, and the potency is there, and it's happening. So, I was in Prabhupada's room, and Prabhupada said that, I'm trying to think of how he put it. Someone was saying that, you know, are we going to take over the American government in due course and all that stuff? Prabhupada will make you president. Prabhupada said, no, we'll make Brahmananda president. I'll be his spiritual master. Perfect Brahman. So, Prabhupada said, Yudhisthira Maharaj and the Pandavas were being hunted in the forest like animals. Those are his exact words. They were being hunted in the forest, and you know the Kurus, or you know, all that stuff. They were being pursued like animals. And Prabhupada said within 18 days, Yudhisthira Maharaj was emperor of the world. And then Prabhupada said, why 18 days? 18 hours. Krishna will give you the whole world. And then he said, but what will you do with it? Simply sleep. So we have the Bhagavatam. People are looking for it. They want an answer. Anybody who's smart. I've met so many professors, sociology, this, that. They're looking for a better social system. Radhanath Maharaj, the great hero, Radhanath Maharaj spoke at the Bank of England. And I think it was a meeting of the G9, the top 9 nations, you know. And they measure by gross national product, GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is things that are durable goods that last longer than 3 years. Car, TV sets, computers. That's how they measure success. Now, if you look at the top 9 GDP in the world, you can do a compare and contrast. It's not rocket science. Where do you find the greatest suicide rate, the greatest divorce rate, the greatest drug addiction, the greatest incarceration, people locked in jail, the highest suicide rate, if I didn't see it? It's in those top GDP. So obviously something's wrong with the formula. It's not working. People are not happy. And we have the Bhagavatam. And people are waiting for it, they're looking for it, they're relishing it. So I do want to end. Everyone, just think for a moment about just one aspect of the Bhagavatam vision. Everyone matters. Everyone is worthy of respect. Everyone is spirit soul. They have an intrinsic value and potency. Every single living entity. That's Bhagavatam vision. How to help these people, how to save these people, because they're looking for it. So we have Vaisheshika Prabhu, another one of the great heroes of our society, has announced that the goal for this year is 100,008. Yeah? Bhagavatam sets in this year. Now think about it. I heard a number. Okay, great. But the point I'm saying, yeah, cheering is easy. But let's put, I'm an old man. If you didn't guess, I can see the end of my life. It's coming soon. Not soon enough for some, but that's another story. but I'm not going to be here. I am speaking to the ISKCON youth. I'm speaking to everybody. But Prabhupada spoke in San Francisco, 1970, Ratha Yatra. It's a whole story. There were Hell's Angels who attacked the carts. There were Black Panthers. It's a whole scene. And ultimately, they worked it all out, and they came. It was the Family Dog Auditorium. That was the name of the arena, whatever. Prabhupada venue. Thank you. Prabhupada came out on the stage. He had such presence. Everybody bowed down. When the Hells Angels bowed down, you heard, it was a wood floor because it was the dance floor. You heard, chains hitting the floor, helmets, billy clubs fell out of their pocket, weapons, And so they all bowed down. And Prabhupada started his talk. My dear, frustrated youth of America. And a cheer went up spontaneously. So people are frustrated. They're miserable. They know this isn't the real thing. They're tired of being cheated. And we have the message of Bhagavatam. So if you think about it, I heard different figures bandied around at the GBC meeting. We have something like 200,000 to 400,000 committed members worldwide. Those people that think they're members of ISKCON. They feel that affiliation with ISKCON. Hey, if half of the lowest number, 200,000, each sell a set, we've got it right there. The capacity in this movement, especially amongst our congregation, is profound. Put our shoulders to the wheel. Push Dharma forward. Help the world. Do something that matters. Have a life you can be proud of. You're going to be old like me before you know it. And think, I distributed the Bhagavatam. I helped change the world. I helped push the wheel of Dharma forward. It is a wonderful, golden opportunity. And with your help, it can definitely be done. So please, 108,000 Bhagavatam sets. We did 40 this year, 40,000. Everybody, distribute one set, distribute 5 sets, distribute 100 sets, whatever it is. But we will change the world. We're not meant for small things. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I don't know if we have time for questions. Okay. We'll take a few questions. No second purport. No second Srimad Bhagavatam. Ask a question, and don't ask me who, Stump the Swami, who was the 7th wife of the 4th Manu. Ask me a question that matters. Yes, Maharaj. Now you're on the spot.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your very
say the
inspirational
praise.
talk.
Get to the question.
Yeah. So, to be an instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion, I also find that first I need to work on myself.
I'm not so sure of that premise. Go out, qualified, unqualified, rich, poor, smart, absolutely pure. Go out. Vaisheshika Prabhu says you put your feet on the ground of the Sankirtan field, you're automatically successful. Go out. You got another question?
You answered it.
We don't have time. The world is not waiting. Okay, somebody else got a question? In the back row there. I didn't scare anybody off. I'm not dead yet. I still got a little fire to me.
I heard a lecture. I was in a class on medieval history, medieval European history, and the professor, I remember this phrase he said that in his lecture that stuck with me. It was that as the world became more Christian, Christianity became more worldly. And as we expand this Hare Krishna movement, we're accommodating more and more compromises with people's material needs and material happiness and things. And I'm wondering, how will we keep the purity of complete surrender to Krishna?
The amazing thing is, who should I pick on? I'm going to pick on you. Stand up. Yeah, you. The guy behind you. Well, you can do it. You can do it. You're already up. Would you please touch your nose? No. Sit down. Stand up. Touch your nose. No. It's Prabhupada's example. Chant minimum 16 nice rounds in the morning. You can sit down, brother. In the morning. Read an hour a day. You read the back of the cereal box. We're reading so many things. Read the Bhagavatam. Or Chaitanya Charitamrita, Get up early in the morning. Worship the deity. It's so simple. We are our own worst enemy. We have to do it, though. If you don't do it, then so many things happen. I'll say one other thing, and then I think we'll end. Have you ever seen how they blow up a building? You've got 3 buildings, multi-story, right next to each other. I always wanted to do this. I took chemistry so I could blow things up. So it's true. It just shows my nature. But you see them, they hit the plunger, whoosh, and the building in the middle just collapses. You ever seen that? Yeah, who hasn't seen that, The other 2 are untouched. You know how they do that? You get a structural engineer. You get the structural plans of the building. And you figure, what are how did 9/11, how did those buildings collapse? If you blow out the linchpins that are holding the weight, the building will just collapse on its own weight. World views change. People used to think the world is flat. They thought heaven was above, hell was below. People think so many things. Now they think consciousness, happens by, chemical interaction. The world is largely changing, though, now. There's a whole section that think consciousness is its own tattva. They're calling it material, but it's an irreducible element, consciousness. Well, that's one step forward. Give them the Bhagavatam, So my point is, world views change. If you look, there was the medieval times, Dark Ages. There was the Renaissance, worldview changed. There was, World War I, there was the Industrial Age. There was the war to end all wars. How'd that work out? So my point is, world views change. And Prabhupada laid it out. He told us where life comes from life, there's an eternal soul, there's Ishvara, there's time, there's the material nature. Prabhupada laid it all out in his Bhagavad Gita. You blow those things out, and the whole worldview changes. And it's not the first time. It's not wishful thinking. It's not dreams. World views change. It's time for the Bhagavatam worldview. and all in there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Synonyms, Badrinarayan Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Please can those who made a pledge to